16 days to the biggest activity on the calendar of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, the election of a presidential candidate, an individual who lead the party go into the election of 2020. And already, all is not well within the NPP, which many people have said. It comes on the back of that explosive interview from Professor Frimpong Boateng here on ChannelOne television, the point of view to be specific, where he says the current NPP, as it is now, is the fake NPP. What does it mean by the fake NPP? Already the party has announced measures to more or less punish or sanction Professor Frimpong Boateng for the statement he made. But many people have also said that, is this statement directed at a particular candidate or any of the candidates gunning to lead the NPP going to the election of 2028? Today on the Situation Room, we look at the statement made by Professor Frimpong Boateng, a few reactions from some party elders, and the political angle to it, a political analysis on how we can go about this particular situation, unite as a political party, and go into the election of 2028. My name is Sammy Crabbe, and this is the Situation Room. You're welcome back. You're still watching the Situation Room, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. My name is Sammy Crabbe, and as always, I'm here with my friend, colleague, and brother, Fred Tete Ijabana. As I told you earlier, the discussion is on the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. In the next 16 days, the party will elect a leader, a flag bearer, someone who will lead the party going to the election of 2028. But even before that, a number of issues has happened within the party in the course of the week. You remember that interview, the Professor Frimpong Boateng interview, which was done here at ChannelOne television on the Point of View program, where he said a number of things about the New Patriotic Party. The first, well, number one, he says the current NPP is the fake NPP. I don't know if there's an original NPP somewhere or there's a fake new NPP somewhere. But then Professor Frimpong Boateng says the current NPP is the fake NPP, and that there's no way the old NPP will do the things the current NPP is doing. The party has taken actions against him. The party says we invite him before the National Council, the National Executive Committee, and maybe in the process of revoking his membership from the party. The General Secretary of the NPP is on record to have said that what Professor Frimpong Boateng did is distasteful to the NPP and against the party's constitution. There are many of us who said that his comment is directed at a particular presidential candidate, a particular flag bearer aspirant, someone who wants to lead the party again. And so these comments are not just any ordinary comment, but then they are targeted or directed at someone. And there are many of us who ask the question, can the NPP be united going to the election of 2028? Because even in opposition, there seems to be some disagreement. And going forward for the election 2028, will the NPP be a united party, a united political party that may be in a position to wrestle political power from the NDC in the 2028 general election? So this is the discussion we are having today on the Situation Room, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Fred, how be?
I'm good. How are you, Sam?
I'm well. God is still keeping me. Professor Frimpong Boateng has, brought the NPP into the news again.
Yes, it's quite interesting. The NPP has always been in the news from the beginning of the year. And like you mentioned, 16 more days to the 31st January primaries. And the flag bearers or the candidates and flag bearer aspirants have been roaming the country trying to convince delegates of the party to elect one of them as the presidential candidate for the 2028 elections. But as they continue to roam the country and campaign, the views of other people within the party are being sought as to the state of the party, where should be the direction of the party, and what the party can do to recapture power in 2028. And as part of those conversations, like you mentioned, we had Professor Frimpong Boateng on the Point of View, where he spoke on a range of issues. And one which has really caught the attention of the country is his comments about the NPP, his comments about the NPP being fake, his comments about corruption within the party, his comments about Dr. Bawumia and what he makes of what Dr. Bawumia's candidature. For him, he feels like if it is the same candidate coming from the 2024 elections, he thinks it's a problem. He's, questioned some of the decisions taken by the leadership of the party. And all these conversations would bring us to a point of free expression, people being allowed to make their free expression within the party, where you draw the line between free expression, where you draw the line between discipline, party discipline. Because in as much as you are expressing yourself on issues, there's also a line in party conduct, rules and regulations which regulates the conduct of members. Where do you draw the line between falling within the party discipline and then also how the NPP is going to carry on from here? There's been issues of expelling the man from the party. You've had people who you call outcasts, people like Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, who you can call an outcast now, even though a founding member of the NPP, all making comments about the state of the party and even the decision of the party. But before we go ahead to even understand where the party should go, let's take a look at the interview Professor Frimpong Boateng had with Bernard Avle, where he raised concerns about the party and even described the party as fake.
The present MPP is not MPP, it's fake.
What?
Yeah. What I see now, it is not the MPP I used to know.
But the question still stands. Do you still consider yourself a member of the NPP?
Not the fake one.
So which one is the real one?
The real one is there. It's a virtual thing, and the members are there in the background.
You think that... I don't understand.
But look at how they elected their last flag bearer. You know, twist the arms of weak and...
This is for the 2024 election?
Yes. Twist people's arms, bribing delegates, and intimidating others to get a flag bearer. You know, this is the beginning of corruption, and this should not be allowed in any serious situation or any serious party. And there were issues. We lost the elections badly, and we did not deal with the issues that led to the losses. And then we still want to go in there, and I think it would be a train wreck if they elect the old flag bearer.
So your November article around how the NPP is proceeding suggests that you don't have confidence in the processes of electing a flag bearer?
No.
Really?
No.
Is your problem with the Dr. Bawumia or with the NPP?
No. Bawumia is a very nice person, but being nice alone is not enough to lead in Nkrumah's Ghana.
But he's not just a nice person. He's worked at African Development Bank. He's been vice president for 8 years. He's an economist. So he's a professional.
Yes, but you see, the thing is that why do you think that economists are the people who create jobs and who create wealth? They are not the ones. And you don't know.
Economists think they know.
Yes.
Yet they don't know.
No.
But
some of them.
But not all professionals don't know everything.
I know. But you see,
so isn't the key thing the question?
If you have a baggage, you have a baggage. You know. The Akufo-Addo and his family baggage is still there. And he himself has said that if the present president is a Northerner, if he's going away, it will be difficult for another Northerner to come. And so people should have voted for him. And he said it, Bawumia said that. So how do we then go into elections knowing very well that Ghanaians are not likely to vote for another Northerner if a Northerner is going out?
But we all don't know that.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, that we should have dealt with these issues. You know, people said that it's a Muslim, is Ghana ready for? No, I'm not supporting these things, but we should deal with them, educate people.
But the best way to deal with this is to vote. So the people will choose the flag bearer, right?
No. You have to educate people and deal with the issues, disabuse people's mind, and then we can go on with somebody.
So you're saying that if he wins, so are you worried about the process that's selecting him?
The process,
or the fact that the country may not be ready for a person like him?
Both.
What do you think is the biggest reason why NPP lost so badly in the last election?
Oh, the arrogance, the corruption, economic decline, and the behavior of some members of government and the president's family. these were very serious issues.
So it's possible that people punished him and the party for what the government did.
Yes, and he was part of it. And so far, he has not distanced himself from some of these characters.
So he ought to do that.
He ought to do that.
So you think if he's to be, I don't want to use the word credible, but if he's to convince Ghanaians...
If he's his own person, he convinced Ghanaians that he's his own person, he should distance himself from what happened in the past and the people who were around him and twisted arms and bribed people to make sure that he was a flag bearer, you know.
But why are you saying that? He won an election. We saw him.
Yeah, but first he won the election. But you know everything that went about that, how delegates were influenced and so on in various ways. And don't think that Ghanaians don't know these things.
So that was former Environment Minister and a former flag bearer aspirant of the NPP, Professor Frimpong Boateng, who analyzed the state of the NPP in his view and the leadership of the NPP, which has caused the party to immediately respond to him. Like Sammy, you mentioned earlier, the party did not waste time. As soon as he made this comment...
Less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours. The next morning, the party issued a statement to condemn his comments and refer him to the National Council and the National Executive Committee of the party so that disciplinary actions will take place, procedure will take place. Right after this particular interview and after issuing this statement from the party leadership, my colleague Hansen Ajiman caught up with the General Secretary of the party, Justin Frimpong Boateng, who spoke about the reasons why the party has taken the stance it has.
Patriotic Party is governed by rules. It's a party governed by laws. And therefore, when a person makes a statement which constitutes a misconduct, the party has to follow due process. And that is what we have done as a party.
When you say due process, can you help us?
Well, it was on your station where Professor Frimpong Boateng made a careless statement, which we were not expecting from a man of his stature to have made. To make that statement that the New Patriotic Party is a fake party, and therefore he's not a member of that fake party. Ideally, I should have written a letter to expel him from the party based on what he has said.
General Secretary of the NPP, Justin Frimpong Boateng, who is making a case why the Professor Frimpong Boateng should be disciplined. And Sammy, as I mentioned, that this particular issue looks at different angles. So you could look at it from different angles. You could look at allowing free internal criticisms where party members are allowed to question some of the things which are happening within the party. It also looks at discipline. Where does that line of discipline come? After your free speech, where should it end? Should you be allowed to just go and say whatever you say? So where does the party apply discipline? And in what form should the party apply discipline? Then the third leg is when you look at these two, free speech, discipline, and you are not able to marry the two and able to get a middle ground, how do you go ahead with unity? Because don't forget that as we speak now, since the 2024 elections, the NPP has started a rebuilding process. And in the rebuilding process, there are issues from the past where people have felt hurt, where people feel they have been neglected. And the party, in its own wisdom, realized that the issue of unity is going to be a big problem. So what did they do? They decided that, look, one of the things which divides us is the flag bearership elections and who leads the party as presidential candidate and flag bearer. So let's hold that election first so that we can have ample time to unify the party. With that in mind, you are asking yourself, are you still going to divide the party with some of these actions or with some of the words coming out of members of the party? Or you are going to find a way of dealing with these two to ensure that party members can freely speak their mind, but then in freely speaking their mind, they are also able to know that there's supposed to be party unity and party discipline, and they follow the rules and regulations of the party.
Okay. On that note, let's take some responses from a party elder. I'll put it that way. He served as a former Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NPP and rose through the ranks to become a national vice chair of the same political party. In recent time, he's made an attempt to be the national chairman of the New Patriotic Party. I'm talking about Mr. Sammy Crabbe, a former vice chair of the New Patriotic Party. Let's get his views and thoughts on the recent developments within the party on the back of this interview from Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Mr. Crabbe, good afternoon and thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you had this interview from Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. First of all, your general take on the comments he made.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I listened to the interview, and it's strange. I guess what I gathered from whatever he said, there's nothing he said that I haven't heard people say it in other forms across the country. These things are said all over. But what I gathered from what he said was that he had a problem with our internal procedural justice system. He had a problem with processes within the party. Things were not done in a particular way. Therefore, it undermined the legitimacy of whatever outcome. Like, if the process led to the selection of a flag bearer, then if it led to the selection of a flag bearer, the processes themselves, because they were tainted, undermined the credibility of the flag bearer. He was talking about process. And it seems to me that the letter that was issued and the interview I just heard from the General Secretary goes to actually validate what he's been saying. The thing is, first of all, if he has done anything that is contrary to our laws, as a General Secretary, you are a man of authority and you stand as a party, quote and unquote. You do not pronounce. You do not pronounce the end, the outcome. You don't say that you're sending the guy to the National Disciplinary Committee or NEC for the man to be expelled. I think that is what is in the letter. If this letter I have here is actually coming from him, because this is because of social media, I can have all kinds of versions. But this letter states at the end that consequently the party has invoked relevant provisions of its constitution to commence the necessary processes to expel him from the party strictly in accordance with due process. Now, it's really very funny that at the end of, it's contradictory, go and expel him. So it's kind of instructing the disciplinary committee to expel the gentleman. Meanwhile, when you read the functions of a disciplinary committee, it talks about the fact that they shall, 1, investigate complaints concerning the misconduct of a member, 2, make a full, faithful, and impartial inquiry into any complaint referred to it, 3, report in writing the results of the inquiry and the reasons leading to the conclusions reached. Meanwhile, the General Secretary has already reached the conclusion. The man must be expelled. He's found him guilty before he even has a chance to be processed through the internal justice procedural system. This validates. It validates what the man was talking about. So then let's go to proceedings. Proceedings, it talks about the fact that it will be initiated by a complaint and the proceedings will be held in camera. But the most interesting one is 5.5. It says that a disciplinary committee shall not be subject to the direction or control of any person in the performance of its duty. This provision in the Constitution actually tries to signal to people that our internal justice systems, procedural justice systems, are really fair. They listen to people because the perception of fairness actually drives voter trust in a political party, which leads to people voting for that political party. So you pronounce the man guilty before you even send the man there. All you're trying to do, as far as I'm concerned, is to say that really what the man was saying was true. We do not have clean, fair processes that lead to outcomes. That's exactly what has happened here. It's been validated. So I don't really want to go into what the man said or what he did not say, whether he was right or not right. It's for the disciplinary committee to, 1, investigate. That's what the Constitution says. And nobody can direct the disciplinary committee or try to, let me pick the word, direction or control of any person. So the General Secretary cannot even tell the outcome of whatever goes to the General Disciplinary Committee, but you are a man of authority. You are close to the disciplinary committee. You are acting as a judge and a prosecutor. And then, come on, please. And these things signal to voters that even if we were, that's a perception, we were to be given the country for us to run the justice system, this is what we're going to do. So we are hurting ourselves by even trying to engage this. The gentleman has spoken. He has spoken his mind. He's used certain words that I would not use, things like fake. Maybe he just meant that, oh, the things are not transparent and they don't seem real. I would probably have described it that way. I wouldn't have used the word face, but so what? That's his choice of word. You know, he's used it. But at the end of the day, we have ended up validating exactly what he's saying.
But Mr. Crabbe, the argument is that, you know, such comments, you know, does not help with party building, does not help with party unity. And so if the party wants to remain united and you hear such comments, the party must take actions.
I'm not saying the party must not take action. Don't get me wrong. I am saying that the gentleman, the general secretary, is saying that they're going to follow process. And what is due process in the party? An investigation first, right? There's been no investigation, but the general secretary has pronounced the man guilty, and is a man of authority. So it is not, I'm not saying the disciplinary process must not be used. I'm saying that the general secretary himself has proven what the man is saying, that we do not follow process. We are not fair in the selection of candidates. We are not fair in dealing with people. And to me, that is even more injurious than what Dr. Frimpong Boateng said, Professor Frimpong Boateng said, because what the General Secretary has done has rather signaled to people that we do not follow process. And then he ended the letter with strict, it will be done strictly in accordance with due process. You know, there's something called lawfare. When people weaponize the judiciary systems, okay? When politicians weaponize the judiciary system against people, this is lawfare. That's what I'm seeing.
Mr. Crabbe.
I'm seeing a process where somebody is attempting to hijack the judiciary process against a member of the party. And to me, it will send a very damaging signal to voters that we are one, intolerant, and we are even incompetent. And that is my problem.
Mr. Crabbe, yes, you have spoken about the internal processes and what your party regulations talk about in terms of the internal processes to discipline people. That is fair enough. But when you have senior members of the party, like Frimpong Boateng, elders of the party, people who call themselves founders of the party, making comments like this, when the party is at a time where it's trying to restructure, it's trying to rebuild, are these comments necessary? Are these comments important at this time, looking at where the party finds itself?
Well, me, the General Secretary, the National Chairman, and the National Executive Committee, we don't have any business determining whether or not this comment is appropriate or not. You take it to the disciplinary committee, and they'll come up with their recommendations. And then we sit down, and then they take a look at it and pronounce. That's the point I'm trying to make. You're asking me to comment on what somebody has said. The man must be processed. And when he's processed, then we shall determine. And that is the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't matter whether I feel comfortable with what he said or not. I'm not going to comment on that because it doesn't really matter here. What matters is because people are certainly going to fall foul of certain things within the party. But that's why we have due process. That's why we have the Constitution. The Constitution does not say that the General Secretary must pronounce someone guilty before the process is initiated. So the person who is actually creating the problem is the General Secretary.
It's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. But then, why do you draw the line on commenting on party matters that brings unity and party matters that bring about disunity? Where do you draw the line and the issue of discipline?
But if you look at our Constitution, when people feel that people have fallen foul of our Constitution, they initiate a process in writing. drawing lines. I don't want to get into that at all, because you see, you're asking me to subjectively decide whether or not somebody is saying something right or not. We have free speech within the party. It must be protected. We also live within Ghana, so we must conform with Ghana's constitution. We must protect people's freedom and rights. And if for some reason somebody has done something that is against your constitution, we are a quasi-judicial body, the disciplinary committee, and even the NEC is acting as a quasi-judiciary body. So they must follow process. And that's the point I'm trying to make. If you ask me, you're asking me to judge Frimpong Boateng or anyone. I'm just saying that what I can say is anyone who goes out there and preempts the result of a disciplinary committee hearing is the one who should actually be sent to the disciplinary committee.
Okay.
Because the person is sending a very strong signal with potential voters that we cannot be trusted to protect people's rights. That's the point I'm trying to make. We can't be trusted. And so this is a very grave matter. As to unity is very important. You can't achieve unity this way. When people don't perceive that they are going to be justly dealt with. If people perceive that when they say something, it will not be investigated, and then a general secretary or a national chairman or a NEC can, without actually investigating, pronounce me guilty before I'm heard, that will not promote unity.
It's well made. The point is well made, Mr. Crabbe. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Your point is well made. Sammy Crabbe is a former vice chair of the New Patriotic Party, a former Greater Accra regional chairman of the NPP. In recent times, he's announced his plans and ambitions to be the national chairman of the NPP when the party goes for its internal election at the later part of the year. If you listen to Professor Frimpong Boateng's statement very well, he made reference to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the processes leading to his election in 2023, and how the process was not in the best interest of the party. Let's reach out to the camp of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and speak to Kofi Tonto. He's an aide to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia on what the camp makes of the comments made by Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, more or less accusing Dr. Bawumia of, more or less not going through the right process in his election as a flag bearer of the party in the 2024 general election. So let's speak to Kofi Tonto, an aide to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, get his thoughts on the comments made by Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Kofi, thank you very much for your time and a happy new year to you.
Yeah, thank you very much to you and to your cherished viewers, and then also to my own uncle, Uncle Crabbe. A very good evening to you. I don't know if you are in London or if you are in Accra, but a very good evening to you. I would want to double very quickly into what Chairman Crabbe said, because the Constitution says more than he posited. The Constitution is very clear on anti-party conduct. And the Constitution is also very clear on certain activities that can even expel you from the party immediately you engage in those activities. So, for example, if I sit on a platform and say that I'll vote for President Mahama as an NPP person, there is nothing about investigation or whatever. My pronouncement is very clear that I do not believe in the tenets of the NPP. I have taken a position against the NPP, and therefore I am to be expelled from the party. So there are certain activities, not only the activities or the actions of leaders in the party. I get his argument about processes and all of that. Excellent. But the Constitution doesn't leave it there. It also designs or specifies actions or behaviors of members of the party. So you cannot criticize just the actions of leaders and say that the actions of the party members, you can't comment on it as long as what the party leaders are doing is wrong. That is where you focus on. I sincerely and honestly disagree with it, because the Constitution is clear on the duties it gives the members of the party. And if a member of a party engages in an activity that is or contravenes the very tenets of the party, we are to speak against it. There are no two ways about it. The Constitution is not ambiguous about it. So when I hear people sort of give Professor Frimpong Boateng the leeway to say whatever he wants. No, actually, NPP party doesn't give people the right to say whatever they want.
Are you then gagging members from speaking?
No, it's not about gagging. No, it's not about gagging. Even our Ghana Constitution doesn't give people the right to say whatever they want. You cannot just say, I want to kill somebody just because you want to say it. It's illegal. Please, let's lay those things bare. Democratic institutions have rules and regulations. Even the United States of America, the citadel of democracy, has now come out to say that if you want to come into the US and you make certain comments on your social media, that will be enough grounds to deny you entry into their country. The point I am making to you is that our Constitution is not just an open document that says I can wake up and attack Senior Crabbe because I speak whatever I want to. No, it doesn't. That's not how our Constitution works. There are limitations to our utterances and our behavior, and it defines anti-party behavior. That is where I want to situate the argument in. Now, where I agree with Senior Crabbe is if somebody engages in an anti-party behavior, there are processes the person must go through. I completely agree with him. So if his argument then is, one, the behavior of Dr. Frimpong didn't sit well, but I disagree with the processes, it's fair. But to leave Dr. Frimpong, who in his submission actually called the flag bearer, the immediate leader of the party, corrupt. That's what he did. He said he twisted arms and paid bribes to people to win the election. Was that not what he said? Yafi? Was that not what he said?
I asked the question, is you do the answering.
Okay. No, I mean, it's a rhetorical question. But my point is, he made categorical statements that people's arms were twisted. The process, the party leadership cheated for somebody to become a leader. But we all recall, for example, Honorable Kennedy Japan coming out on November 4th, 2023, saying that this process was free and fair at the stadium. We all recall. So on what basis are you calling Awumia corrupt, conniving with Akufo-Addo to twist weak arms of party members? Senior Crabbe, I don't think that is how we want to go about the party. In any case, we've had an election. We've lost the election. You claim that certain actions were wrong. We investigated what caused our defeat. As a senior member of the party, you didn't find it appropriate to send your concerns to the body that investigated. Actually, you are angry that after their investigation, they didn't bring you a copy and didn't make their copy public. And you are angry that because they didn't make their copy public and they didn't give you a copy, that process is sham and is going to lead into a train wreck if they elect Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Please, what stops leaders of the party from contributing to developing the party? Why must Senior Crabbe is here? It's like Senior Crabbe saying that, oh, I've quit NPP or forget NPP or NPP is fake because NPP didn't come to me for my opinion on why we lost. Can NPP party go to every single person? In fact, the party put out information on how to contribute to the research. The party put out details that if you are a member of the party and you have contributions as to why you think we lost the election, send it to this email or send it to the party headquarters. Professor Frimpong didn't do any of them. Yet, he finds it appropriate to come and sit on radio and call the leader of the party corrupt. and say that the leader of the party, together with the then president, twisted arms. I mean, how?
Kofi, you made a lot of points. You've said a lot of things about the comments of Professor Frimpong Boateng. But my question to you is that these comments that he's made, especially the ones against your candidate, Dr. Bawumia, are you worried as a camp that these comments may affect you in the January 31st election?
No, I don't think so. Because in my sincerest opinion, delegates are not weak as he suggested it. Delegates are strong-minded people, members of our party, who have formed their opinions on each and every contestant in the election. And it doesn't or will not take Professor Frimpong Boateng's position change a delegate's mind. People know who Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is and his contribution to the party, his sacrifices for the party, etc. So it doesn't lie in the mouth of Professor Frimpong Boateng denigrating Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to sway the minds of people. In any case, all objective persons know that his denigration was absolutely unfair. They all know that his views were targeting what's his name, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that the party is fake and that fake party has gone to elect more or less a fake leader and all sorts of things. So I don't think that will sway the minds of people. But you see, let me wrap up my comments here. When I joined the NPP as a young man in my college dorms at the University of Massachusetts, I joined that party with an aspiration. In 1992, when the party was formed, I was not there. But I joined the NPP with an aspiration that if I work hard, if I follow the process, if I sacrifice, one day I'll be rewarded for my efforts. I joined it with the full hopes that even though I was not there in 1992 and I was just a 5-year-old boy, my sacrifices and my hard work will count for something. In 2028, God willing, when we go to the polls, about 70 to 78% of the voters will be 44 and below. They wouldn't care about when a political party was formed. They will care about what the political party has to offer them.
Okay.
So if we have leaders who continue to tell us that a group of people don't belong, they came, they are outsiders, and that we and our friends are the real people, and everybody else is fake, and that the party belongs to a virtual real people. For me, it is dangerous.
Okay.
It is not a party that wants to attract other people.
Okay.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has not sinned. He has not harmed anybody. All he did was to join a political party, contribute his efforts, contribute his time, contribute his knowledge, contribute his resources to make the party successful.
Kofi, thank you.
We have
thank
hit.
You.
Oh, I'm
thank
wrapping
you.
up. We've hit a
you
snag.
said you've been wrapping up for God knows how.
Okay, sure,
how
no
many
problem,
minutes.
no problem.
Kofi, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Kofi Tonto is an aide to NPP presidential candidate in the 2024 general election, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, reacting to a few things said by Professor Frimpong Boateng in that interview on ChannelOne television. This is the situation. We're coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll speak to a political analyst. Can the NPP unite as a political party going into the election of 2028? You're welcome back. You're still watching The Situation Room, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. The discussion today is on the New Patriotic Party. On the back of that interview by Professor Frimpong Boateng on ChannelOne television, the Point of View program with Bernard Avile on Monday. A number of conversations have happened on the back of this interview. The NPP as a political party has taken some actions or intends to take some actions against Professor Frimpong Boateng for some of the comments or statements he made in that interview. Just a while ago, you heard us speak to a senior member of the NPP, a former Greater Accra Regional Chairman, a former National Vice Chair of the party, and someone who is gunning to be the National Chairman of the NPP, Sammy Crabbe, to get his thoughts and opinions on the matter. A while ago as well, you heard Kofi Tonto, an aide to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, also reacting to some of the things, a few things Professor Frimpong Boateng made in that interview on ChannelOne television. In a short while, we speak to Dr. Jonathan Ochiri, who is a political science analyst with the University of Cape Coast, to get his views and opinions on the developments within the new patriotic party. Can the NPP unite behind one presidential candidate after January 31st, going into the election of 2028? As you're aware, the NDC will also elect a presidential candidate as well. But many people have said that the NPP needs unity. The NPP must unite, forging ahead, and if the party has any chance of recapturing political power. Fred, you heard from Sammy Crabbe and you heard from Kofi Tonto. Your impressions about the statement?
It's interesting, their take, both of them, their take. You look at Sammy Crabbe, and he says about procedure. He believes that there should be, the party should follow procedure. He believes that what the General Secretary did not follow procedure. He believes that the General Secretary, who is referring this particular matter to the disciplinary committee of the party, had already passed judgment. And in passing judgment, he thought that that was not right, prejudicial. So you are saying the person is guilty. So why are you sending the person to the disciplinary committee when you think that the person is already guilty? So that's Sammy Crabbe's view about this whole thing. That for him, it is not about what the man has said, but it is about how do you deal with it and what is the process of dealing with it. Do you just come out to say he's been found guilty without going through the process? So he is looking more of procedural issues than the substance of what the Professor Frimpong Boateng had said. Kofi Tonto says he does not disagree with procedure, but for him, substance is very important. What you say as a party member is very important. He made several examples that, I mean, do you just get up and go and say whatever you want to say because you're a party member? Where do you draw the line between discipline and free speech within the party? He is of a strong belief that it is not always about discipline, but people should check themselves. And people should not be allowed to do things in the name of free speech, which would, at the long run, come to end and destroy the party, come to divide the party. For him, the party has a target, the party has a plan, the party is seeking to recapture power. Whoever the party brings to recapture the power, it's not just an individual, it's a collective work. And in that collective work, you shouldn't allow few people to go around publicly making comments which would come and destroy the work which the party has put in place. He has raised concerns about the various avenues Professor Frimpong Boateng had to raise these issues. He talked about the Michael Okoye Committee and what the Michael Okoye Committee was set up to do. He questioned the fact that Professor Frimpong Boateng could not or did not send his grievances to the Michael Okoye Committee. He's also raised concerns about the fact that even after that, even after not sending his grievances to the Michael Okoye Committee, what did he do after? When the report came, what have you done? Which processes have you gone within the party to ensure that you receive these or you are given an information or what the report says? You haven't done anything like that. You just come out to criticize the party because you are unhappy. He also addressed issues with his candidate. And don't let us forget that Kofi Tonto is a member of the Baumia team, the camp of Dr. Baumia, in the internal elections of the NPP. Professor Frimpong Boateng raised some issues with the posturing of that particular candidate, Dr. Baumia, in the 2024-2023 elections of the party, and why he believes that the party lost that election. He also indicated that he felt that Dr. Baumia must distance himself from some of these things. And Kofi Tonto responded to it and said, look, you can't come and call your leader fake. You can't come and say somebody did something, he did something, without having a real substance to what you are saying. He is also of the belief that people like Professor Frimpong Boateng, despite their pedigree, he doesn't think that comments like this would affect the campaign of Dr. Baumia. He believes that Dr. Bawumia is going to win this particular election, and he doesn't believe that Dr. Bawumia would be affected in any way or in any form by these comments which are coming up or coming out of Professor Frimpong Boateng.
But then there are many have also, said that uniting a political party to an election is very important. No two ways about that. But then even in opposition, see what's happened. Level of disunity, everybody speaking his or her mind, and how does the party rally behind one leader after January 31st to fight the NDC or go into the election against the NDC? And how do you bring everybody on board? Because some of these internal elections, Fred, they bring a lot of bruises, a lot. And so the issue here is unity.
Yeah.
How do you bring everybody together? The NPP suffered the same thing in 2024. And is it going to repeat itself in 2028?
So I think it's a leadership issue.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing is a leadership issue. What is the posturing of the leadership? How are the leadership of the party open to accept some of these things? And also, how are they open to address some of these issues without having to disintegrate the party? How do you unify the party with various views? In a political parties, people share various views.
Yeah.
So then, how accommodating are you in accepting some of these views? It's a leadership issue. And I think that the leadership of the NPP would need to relook at some of their ways, especially now that you are going in to elect a flag bearer. The intent of electing a flag bearer before going through your national process was to unite the party, or is to unite the party. That's the reason given for this particular position taken by the party. And before doing that, I don't think that it's right for the party to be disintegrated before you elect a leader to unite it. It makes the task of that leader very difficult. It makes the task of the leader very difficult. And you have people like Professor Frimpong Boateng who have made some of these comments. No matter how distasteful some of these comments are, I think that you can find better ways of addressing some of these issues rather than immediately issuing out statements indicating expulsion. I think that the party could have done better with that. But you see, it still doesn't take away from the fact that party members need to also be disciplined.
Yeah, that's true.
The fact that you have a leadership of the party having a particular posture doesn't mean that you, the party member, should also go around and behave anyway. Like Kofi Tonto said in the beginning, there are rules and regulations. You sign on to the rules and regulations. You know these rules and regulations before even joining the party. So once you have decided to become a member of the party, what do? One of your responsibilities is to ensure that you respect and follow the rules and the regulations which govern the party. As a senior member of the party, as an elder of the party, who loves the party to the core, you say there's the true party and there's the fake party. Regardless of who is fake and who is true, the NPP as a vehicle is still the NPP. How do you expect the NPP as a vehicle which you believe in to capture power if you go around doing some of these things without finding appropriate ways of dealing with some of these things? So it's a two-way thing. Members of the party need to be more responsible. The leadership of the party should change their posture. And I think that when you elect a leader on the 31st of January, it makes the leaders' work quite easy to unite the party and ensure that now the party is in a position to be able to challenge the NDC, who are now in government, and also challenge some of the actions of the NDC in government. But if you don't do that, you spend about a year or two still trying to resolve issues within your party. And that's a challenge for you.
Right, thank you. You're still watching The Situation Room, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We're built to speak to Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, a political science lecturer with the University of Cape Coast. We are told that the network at its end is a bit challenging, so he's unable to join us have this conversation. And so we were unable to speak to him. We're unable to speak to him as at now. I'm sure at another time, another day, we'll be able to speak to Dr. Asante-Okyere on the recent development within the new Patriotic Party. As you were, the party is preparing for the 31st of January presidential primaries. The party, in the last statement it issues, says that it's going to have 277 polling stations across the country, one at the party headquarters. And in every constituency, the constituency executive will select one center or one area where the election will take place. And so they're expecting close to 400,000 delegates of the party who will be electing or who will be voting in this election to have a leader, someone who will lead the party go into the election of 2028. The party leadership, which is the National Executive Committee, is expected to hold a final meeting with the Presidential Elections Committee somewhere next week, where the modalities, the final touches, and everything that needs to be done for the 31st January election will be discussed at this meeting. Trust ChannelOne Television and City 97.3 FM to bring you latest updates. And this is your reference center as far as the NPP presidential primaries is concerned. My name is Sammy Crabbe, and I was here with Fred Tete Ijabano. Till we come your way again, may the good Lord be with us all.